Hello everyone. As everyone know, at present there is a huge escalation between India and Pakistan. So I really want to know in detail. Here please note in detail like how Indian stock market behaved during the last India-Pakistan conflicts. But I can't able to find it anywhere in any of the website. Hence I downloaded the data and did the analysis. So please stick with the video and bear my monotone explanation. I'm hoping for sure you will come across one new information. I mean, it's really difficult to predict the future and I think nobody can as well, since market is very much more complicated than just based on the border conflict. So I'm not going to predict the future, rather I like to highlight what picture history is telling us, markets versus missiles analysis. So without delay, let's get started. I mean, first let's look at the Kargil War. The conflict duration was between April 1999 to July 1999. For the present scenario, it was the very closest related escalation. In fact, the fear was much higher at that time than the present day scenario, since at that time, exactly 1 year before, on May 1998, India and Pakistan both successfully tested the nuclear weapon. So both nations had the economic sanctions by the other countries in the world, and both of them were in the attitude like nothing to lose. So as I said, it was much scarier than now from the market perspective. If required, please pause and have a look. This was the Nifty's price action during April to July 1999 period. Here, blue curve is the Nifty's price action, whereas the orange curve is Nifty's daily percentage change. So before April 27th was the period where like exactly the present day time, full of very uncertainty and confusion. I mean, between April 1st and April 15th, Pakistan army intruded into the Kargil, which India was highlighting it to the world, but Pakistan government kept denying those facts. In fact, in a way, it was true, since never Pakistan government fully know what their army is doing. And that was one of the huge political standoff between Nawab Sharif and Musharraf. Anyway, let's not go into the Pakistan politics. That's aside. Then after 15th, it's kind of everyone in India and Pakistan know about the conflict but no official acceptance. Whereas on April 26th, both India and Pakistan government agreed the escalation officially. So it was the day Nifty fell down 5% in one single session and reached the lowest point during the conflict period. Hence, as a cumulative, during those uncertainty time between April 1st to April 26th, Nifty fell roughly 8%. So in comparison to the last week, on 22nd April, Nifty was around 24,200. So from the start of the conflict, 8% down will take the Nifty to 22,200 and 5% down might take the Nifty to around 23,000 mark. Hope everyone able to follow me. Now back to history. 27th April 1999, once when both the government officially announced the escalation, Nifty was stable for a while and then the news started to unfold like Indian army was recapturing all those intruded places in the Kargil, which market taking that as positive and started to increase. I mean, in the next 13 trading sessions, Nifty from 931 points on April 26, 1999, it increased to 1165 on 14th May 1999, which was roughly 25% increase in just 13 trading sessions. Then after that, between 15th May to 2nd July 1999, for 35 trading sessions, Nifty was traded around or in the zone between 1100 to 1200 points. Whereas from July 5th, 1999, India's victory was imminent. So until July 20th, Nifty increased all the way up to 1350 points. Finally, on 26th July 1999, conflict was officially de-escalated. After that, Nifty returned to its normalcy. So clearly, market took the beating during the uncertainty phase, but once that phase was over and the signs of India winning, which led the market recovery to increase above the previous level. Here, another important thing to notice, though Nifty's price action was largely favorable, whereas the volatility was not. There were totally 85 45 trading sessions, and in that only 33 trading sessions Nifty closed less than plus or minus 1%. The remaining 60% of the time Nifty closed above 1% like yesterday, and 27% of the time Nifty closed plus or minus above 2%, which is a very huge volatility. In fact, please pause and have a look. There were 7 instances Nifty was around or above or below 4%. So, what history is telling us? As long as India is winning the conflict and no nuclear escalation, Nifty likely to go up in the long run, but during that time, we might have the huge volatility. Please note, I'm not saying this is what going to happen. I'm saying this was happened. Like how I'm analyzing this data, all the market analysts and market manipulators also know about the history. So our trading action should be based on considering all the facts. Anyway, that's the story of Kargil with Indian market. Let's move to 2001 December 13th, which was the worst period for Indian market. I mean, there was an attack on the Indian parliament. Immediately, India started the Operation Parakram. As a consequence, in the next 3-4 sessions after 13th December 2001, Indian market fell about 8%. But the problem here was the standoff lasted for 7 to 8 months. I mean, in between, on February 2002, Musharraf informed the US that he was going to de-escalate the standoff. So between February and March, market recovered. But after that, the standoff continued for the next 5 months. So all those times, market had the huge volatility and Nifty dropped about 20% during the time. So the takeaway is, if the conflict escalated to standoff for months and months means, then market won't like it. So India has to be clear on its objective, and market will weigh those India's progress on that objective and will react for that. After that, there were 3 major incidents. One, 2008 Mumbai attack, then 2016 Uri attack, and 2019 Pulwama attack. Here, 2008 Mumbai attack was during the global financial crisis. So market reaction was in conjunction with that. So it's difficult to understand which reaction was for which. So let's ignore that. Whereas on the next 2016 and 2019 incident, market behaved more or less similar. So let's just look in detail on the 2019 Pulwama attack. That standoff took place for 1 month and 6 days between 14th February to 22nd March 2019. Coming to Nifty's reaction, it was not that bad. The maximum was just plus or minus 1%. I mean, from 14th February, it was down for next 3 sessions, but then immediately it started to recover. Then on 26th, India did the strike on Balakot. On that day, Nifty fell 0.5%. Then on the following day, Pakistan aircraft crossed the LOC. So again, it was down mildly, but then market turned to the normalcy. And the conflict was de-escalated slowly in the March month. Then from April onwards, Indian market started to react for the Indian elections in 2019. So the takeaway is, if Pakistan didn't escalate during the weekend and next week means, then this present conflict will just simply go away. But one thing for sure, compared to 2019 Pulwama attack escalation, this time market is a bit more nervous. If required, please pause and have a look. This is the GIFT Nifty reaction yesterday and today morning. I mean, at the time of Indian market close, it traded around 24,050. Then after the close, yesterday, there was not much of the escalation between both sides. So last night until 7 p.m., GIFT Nifty increased to about 24,200. But after 7:30 p.m., again for the second day in a row, there was a drone escalation in the Jammu area. So GIFT Nifty from 24,200, it dropped below 24,000 mark. But again, early morning today, it recovered some and closed near 24,100. So it seems compared to last time, this time market is little nervous, but it is aspiring to go up. Will it continue? Only time has to say. So that's all in this video. Hope you all got some useful information. Please consider subscribing the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment decision based on this, as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers' educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.